Good evening and thank you for coming. The following quote comes from the Environmental Protection Agency. By 2015, consumer electronics and small appliances will be responsible for almost 30% of all household electricity use. In 2020, the average home is expected to be 5% larger and will rely on even more electricity-powered electronics. Clearly, as a society, we are all dependent on energy. However, the amount of energy consumed within the United States is one of the major causes of greenhouse gas emissions being present in our atmosphere today. You're probably wondering why or how this concerns you. First, it's very important to understand that we are not the only ones affected by it, because no matter where we live, wasted energy has an enormous global impact. We need to make a difference, but how? One of these ways is by cutting down how much energy we each individually consume on a daily basis. Today, I would like to encourage you all to participate in making certain changes to save energy, starting within your own home. Let's begin by looking at facts and statistics on how exactly our environments are being exposed to greenhouse gas emissions today. Referring back to the EPA, they approximate that 42% of greenhouse gas emissions are associated with the energy used to produce, process, transport, and dispose of the food we eat and the goods we use. They also estimated that 29% of U.S. gas emissions are related to the provision of goods produced within the U.S. Lastly, traditional waste management represents 1 to 5% of these greenhouse gas emissions. The terrible problem that most people do not realize today is that most energy used is derived from natural resources, in particular fossil fuels. Coincidentally, fossil fuels are known for being the largest global source for heat-trapping greenhouse gas emissions. The following information comes from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, Institute for 21st Century Energy. The consumption of fossil fuels greatly contributes to climate changes because of the amount of pollution being released into the atmosphere. Climate changes can increase or decrease rainfall, influence our agriculture, change ecosystems, affects human health, and can even have an impact on our own energy supply. Across the world, seasons are shifting, temperatures are climbing, and sea levels are rising, all due to global warming. This should be no surprise to us, though, because we constantly hear about these absurd weather conditions every day on the news. Now that we see the dangers that we must face because of these issues, what can we do to protect ourselves, but most importantly, our very own Earth? Thankfully, there are several ways that we can reduce our tremendous impact. And one of these ways is by benefiting our environment as well as ourselves. The following information comes from an article called Energy Efficiency from the Gale Encyclopedia of Science. One step towards saving our surrounding environment is with the well-known method of reuse, reduce, and recycle. By doing all three, you are cutting down the waste consumption related to the release of these greenhouse gases into our environment. Another popular phenomenon today is known as going green. You can fill your home with energy-efficient light bulbs, appliances, pretty much anything with Energy Star qualified product. In fact, today, if you use Energy Star qualified products over the course of a lifetime, you can save up to 130,000 pounds of greenhouse gas emissions being released, as well as save $11,000 on your own electricity bills. As you can see, there are many benefits to waste management and energy management. It can be financially as well as self-rewarding because you will have known that you are reducing your carbon footprint. Climate change should be more well known because it greatly affects all of us. If we don't act now, climate change will alter our lands, alter our waters, which we clearly need in order to survive and prosper, especially for our future generations, such as our children's children and so on. On an ending note, I encourage you all to go home and take a step. The easiest thing you could do is by simply turning off lights when they're no longer used in the room. Or you can do what I do. Whenever I use my toaster, which is only for a few minutes, I unplug it. Why leave it plugged in when all it's doing is draining energy? We all need to stop thinking global warming isn't real or that our individual actions have no tremendous global effect. Well, now you know that they do. Join me. Let's make a difference today and save our world. Thank you.